Hi guys, welcome back to another tutorial. It's been a while. I seem to be late with these things nowadays, which is very annoying, but I'm trying to catch up on everything that I didn't do last month now, so before we start working on the September rewards, which will happen as scheduled. It's just been such a wild ride. As you guys know, we launched the Kickstarter yesterday and it's been 24 hours. I have no words. I was expecting to get to the first stretch goal, which was 15,000, and we're almost double that now, which is kind of crazy. And I was all busy and thinking about that, and it's a bit everywhere, and also traveling 2 weeks for a holiday in the middle of that. It's also a stupid idea. Anyway, enough of that. We are back to the regular schedule after today. You'll get the Q&A podcast today as well. And then, yeah, we should be fine. The packages for Magic Cats tier will be shipped out either Friday, over the weekend, or Monday. Depends on when all the rewards arrive. But that's all on schedule, so it should be fine. Now, for the tutorial, as you can read, the theme that was selected last month for August, God, I'm gonna be all over the place with these months, but for August, the poll that I put up included messy rooms, how the heck, and most people seem to be wanting that one, so here we are. And it's actually one of my favorite things to do, is to create details and messy rooms, and just kind of talk about how I feel like rooms are a character by themselves, and it's probably I can draw a whole room without drawing the character and I would still get a feeling for who the character is, and that's why I love it. So I'm gonna talk about how I do details, and we're gonna fill up this room with details and mess, and just make it seem like it's a bit more lived in than right now. I haven't actually drawn this myself. Usually I would create a SketchUp version of the room, because perspectives in rooms are really hard. So usually I would either do a lot of sketching to get the room looking right before I start adding details, or I would use a SketchUp, which is a free 3D program. I'll put the name here so you can find it, and it pretty much allows you to block in the room very roughly, and I just use boxes and stuff like that. That could be another tutorial if you guys are interested in how to block in a room, or how to block things in in SketchUp, because it's very easy to learn and it's totally worth it. And especially when if you're drawing a room for a comic, for example, you'll probably draw it from a lot of different angles, and getting the proportions and sizes of everything right without actually having them and just doing it freehand, that would be crazy. I can't imagine that, so we're not gonna do that. Anyhow, we got this room that I drew just before I started filming, and it's actually just the copies from this picture here. Because I couldn't figure out how to do it myself, and I was like, I'm just going to take it from this one instead of using a SketchUp model, because that will just add to the time. I just made the bed very basic, and I added the chair, and I added some things in the window, so it just looks like a small generic room, and we're gonna fill it up with stuff. The funny thing is, when it comes to, for me and doing rooms, I like to do the line art for everything that's basic, like the bed, the window, everything else like this, line art first, and then go directly into the line art of the sketch to do the details. But I'm gonna do a clean sketch, which just means this is a clean sketch to me. I'll just kind of do the line art and clean sketch in details instead of doing a rough sketch and then clean lines, because that's gonna take longer. And the whole point of these tutorials is that I sit and I talk and I explain, and it's a lot quicker. Well, it's not a lot quicker, but it's a lot more free, and I can just ramble on, and it just creates a lot less stressful environment for me, which is kind of silly. But I'm not very good at tutorials, and if this is the first tutorial that you've seen, there is a bunch more. You can find the tag below this one and find the other ones if you are interested. And yeah, they're called Learn With Me, not tutorials, because I don't do tutorials, I do Learn With Me. We're gonna draw slowly and I'll talk. So if you're not here to learn something, it's pretty good background noise, maybe. I think that's right. I think it's very sunny outside. Anyway, I also got a beginning of a cold, so if you hear me sniffling, that is why. So please excuse my sniffling. And then I sniffle. So we're gonna just begin with some basic rules that I have. One is, when you're drawing a room, it's a lot easier to add details to places like this and here, because you don't have anything. I'll try and explain this. Easy. Also, Credit's being a bit weird, so I feel a bit weird drawing. I think it's lagging it slightly, which is a bit annoying, but we'll just have to deal with it. Easy adding detail is to things that you're seeing from below. So a shelf that looks like this. It's a lot easier. I'm gonna write that again. It's weird, I don't know. That's easy, but anything that's like this. Yeah, it's definitely acting up. Thank you, Krita. I'm trying to do a tutorial here. Heart. So if you're gonna add any detail, I recommend going with this one, because it's gonna make your life a lot easier. Reason being, when you draw objects here, I can draw a bottle. Let's just draw a bottle. It's weird, but I know. You can draw a bottle, right? And then you can draw a box here, or you can draw a box like that. You never have to actually see where it's placed. You just kind of guess. And that's the beauty of anything that is in this perspective and angle. It's very easy to add things on top of it. Now, this is completely out of whack, isn't it? There we go. Now, anything that's like the other one, I'm going to try and show this by doing this. The sun is coming full force. Let's close these lines. Now, anything that is like this, well, I'm going to add the same details to that. I need to figure out exactly where it's placed. Like that. I don't say like avoid doing this angle, but I'm just saying it's a lot easier to make it look messy, and it's just easier for anyone to do it the other way around, really. Of course, I'm drawing it really weird right now, but when you do it like this, you have to figure out where things are placed in the perspective, which makes your life a lot harder. And also circles like this are hell. Anyway, I love adding details. I think I'm going to have to do some sort of illustration very soon. Oh, I see I've misplaced these things. Where I just do some rooms. Because I did one witch room a while back, which is still one of my favorite illustrations. I think they're like a few years now. I think that was FCD. See, I'm having a lot more trouble doing it this way. It doesn't look as good either, because I'm clearly missing where things are in the perspective. So I'll have to probably guess more. And tweak a lot more to try and add it to where I want it to be. There we go. So that's the first thing I want to say. Also, you need to know the basic perspective, but I do recommend kind of trying to do to draw things without actually doing the perspective line. So you could be really, really, what's it called? Is it called anal? Can you say that? That sounds really weird. I don't want to say that. You can specific? Yes, well, let's say that. So if you wanted to be like, okay, my perspective line's going here, 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 and here, 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 and I'm gonna have my bottle here, and it's gonna go up here. When you start doing this, it starts to become less of a focus on the room and more on the object. So I would call this a still life approach. So your focus is on the thing. So if you were doing a drawing that was just a shelf with all the things, that would be still drawing. So I would recommend doing this because that's the focus of the image is the details. But when you're creating a messy room, the focus is the mess, and it needs to be messy, and it doesn't need to be perfect perspective, and it's just a bit easier doing it the other way. That I'm going to show you in a second. I'm just gonna keep doodling this because it's kind of fun. I should do a series on YouTube where I just go back to basic and be like, okay, I need to learn things again. This is kind of fun. Anyway, especially painting. I should probably do a painting thing. And the box, that's like proper still life. Still life. I seriously think my creator is being really weird. I can't do things properly right now. Items become focused. That is written really bad, but it makes sense, hopefully. I already explained, I recommend, instead of just reading the post that I'm going to do, I recommend actually watching the tutorial because I think it makes a lot more sense. Now, messy room approach. Let's write that here. Messy room the mess is focus. The mess is focus. So that means that we can add things randomly and we don't have to think about the perspective. Don't do the still life approach unless the focus of your illustration is the objects. When it comes to doing this, which we're gonna now start filling up this room, which is my favorite part, you're just gonna have to add things, and the whole thing is to put yourself into the brain of whoever lives there. So we are going to create a character. I swear to you, Creator's being weird. Character. I'm not usually this unsteady. I think it's just lagging. Character. I want it to be a young girl. Messy, naturally. Messy. Likes candy. Cute stuff. Games. So let's just start there. Young girl, very messy, likes things, likes candy, likes just sweet. A typical, let's say, kawaii girl. Let's just say she's a fangirl, very many things. So, first thing, I'm gonna actually draw on the layer with my sketch because it makes it a lot easier for me. The way I usually do this is why I mentioned the whole thing about going into directly with line art, because I like, for example, if I want to add a teddy bear here, I just delete or I just erase whatever I need to erase, and don't worry, I saved the original so that I can add that later. I will just, this is why I like digital. It's very easy to just erase and add, and it's very fun doing rooms like this. But if you feel like you need to I'm getting into this now. If you're doing this traditionally, that's what I was going to say, then it's going to be a bit more tricky, and I would recommend just sit down and just do this lightly. So everything that you sketch, do the sketch quite light, because then you can add things on top, and then when you do the clean, which would be line art, then you can easily do that. I want a fluffy duvet. I wanted to kind of hang off the edge, so we're going to do that here. Off here and then down here. So it's very good having the basic sketch by this point, because it allows you to naturally add things on top of things. I'm gonna have a frilly thing there. And I'm gonna have a unicorn plush. I've had them before and I absolutely love it. I don't know why. I think I need a unicorn plush, because I keep adding them into a lot of my rooms. And then I kind of want to add a wrapper of some sort, maybe some chocolate wrapper here. How do I even do that? Now, if you haven't, there's something called a visual library, which is pretty much when you've drawn so many things or looked at so many things that you can naturally remember what they look like when you try and draw them. And I think I've built mine up quite extensively, which means that I don't really need to look up references to draw. So when I'm doing this, I've drawn it so many times before that drawing it again, it's alright, because I remember how to draw it from the last time. So if you're not used to drawing things, I would recommend just try and draw a lot of things. That sounds very easy, Dina. I mean, just you need to just study. It's a whole thing. I don't really study. I think the way I built mine up is when I do illustrations, I don't know how to draw something, I look it up and I learn how to draw it, and then I remember how to draw it after that. So I guess the natural way of learning how to do that is to just look at, when you're doing an illustration, remember what you're drawing, so that you will naturally build it more and more when you do illustrations. Does that even make sense? I kind of want a giant something. I don't know why. Ooh, let's add a giant ice cream. I don't know why we're just gonna do it. I'm just trying to keep it messy and adding sweet themes. It's probably gonna look like a poop. How do I make this look like a plush? Like that? She just has a lot of plushies, okay? It's natural for a girl like it looks so silly, I love it. I'm gonna add one of those orb things in the top of the bed frame, and then I'm gonna give the bed frame a bit of texture. Because who doesn't like a bit of texture? So I already added quite a lot of mess to the bed. We could probably add more. Let's add something sticking out here. You don't really need to know what it is. If you're gonna add mess, you can just add something, and hopefully it kind of looks good. But yeah, the bed looks messy from this angle, but it probably isn't that messy. Ooh, maybe we can add it. Ooh, I know. Let's add a sweater to this chair. And that makes things look very messy indeed. And then a skirt underneath that, if that looks okay. If it doesn't, I'll just Just remove it. That is also another thing. If you just have to try and see if it looks okay. If it doesn't, then you just remove it. If you do additional, this is where your eraser comes in and you sketch. Yeah. Also, my room is a mess, so please don't look around my camera. Oh, I've actually missed this so much. I need to do another illustration with something like this very soon. I really want a skirt here, but it's not working out. It's actually not working out with the shirt either, so I'm actually gonna remove that whole thing. Let's just make a skirt, maybe? Something's hanging over this chair, but what, we will never know. Looks weird, okay. But yeah, adding a character profile before you start doing this it's just good, because then you know who you're doing drawing for. If you're drawing for a specific character that you have, then it's easier because you kind of already know that character. I have a few rooms that I'm excited to do at some point. I do want a cute, like, round computer. I think they're like one of the old Apple computers or something. They just make me happy, and I think they're cute, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm sure it looks different like in real life, but for us, this is enough. Ooh, maybe she has a few of those magazine holder things. And then a lot of magazines. I don't think she has books, but magazines I can do. Books and things. I usually, when I do things like this, I would usually just draw books, because that's my natural go-to messy room things. But, oh, we're gonna add a diary. But when it comes to this character, I don't think she would have that many books, maybe? Maybe she would. Maybe comic. Oh wait, games. Well, maybe she is into comics. This looks not like a book, does it? It is tricky. It is definitely tricky, but it's very rewarding when you can look away and you realize how messy the room is and you go, ooh, that's what I was going for. Because you kind of focus, but you have to do it quickly because you wanna keep it flowing. You go like, ooh, I can add this, ooh, I can add that, ooh, let's add a cute lamp. I could probably look up more references for cute lamps, because I always have the standard go-to one, which is this one. I always draw this one, which is probably so boring. But it works for me. I was thinking of, oh, she's gonna have pictures of her friends. Definitely. This is a friend picture. Doesn't look like it, but it is. This is also two friend pictures in one of those large frames. And then, does anyone remember these like cute clippy things that you could clip a picture to? That's what I'm going for here. Oh, and we can add quite a few pictures on the wall, which is probably the best thing to make things look messy, is to add things on the wall. If you like games, we should probably add some game elements. I'm already loving this room. It is so much fun. I should do this more often. I keep saying that, but I'm never going to. No, I will. I really want to do that Instagram thing where you create an Instagram account for your character, and they kind of you draw the character as they are posting like themselves. I really like that idea. I want big fluffy curtains because I feel like she's the kind of person that would have big fluffy curtains. that. Probably be in here. So like that. Hangs down like that. This is gonna be a video where I'm very quiet. Well, maybe I'm not very quiet, but I'm sketching. And I'm having fun. Ooh, let's add something. You can add, I think she would have plants. Even though she's messy, she's probably better than me in keeping plants, so. Maybe she's not, maybe it's a dead flower. I'm gonna have a sunflower. Maybe it's a dead flower. Usually I just draw live flowers. Maybe I should draw a dead flower. Maybe she forgot some down here, so they're like... She likes the idea of having plants, but maybe she can't really... I don't know how to draw dead plants. Gonna add a frame to the window as well. It looks weird without a frame. Frame here too. Ooh, wallpaper. 2 stripes, 2 stripes, stripes. And then we're getting close. Let's make a hook here, and then let's hang a string light to this part here. And it's gonna be one of those heart string lights. Oh, and goes up here too, so it's gonna get bigger. This is where perspective comes in handy. It's not really easy to do this in 3D, so you kind of just have to guess if you're doing it right, and maybe you are. Hope my boyfriend isn't coming home. I was trying to do this while he was out so that I didn't have to feel awkward. There we go. Oh, that helps a lot with making it feel busy. Let's hang a tapestry thing. Maybe. I don't know if I've added any game elements. So... Oh, let's add Animal Crossing things. That would be so cute. Let's add an Isabel. Do I remember how to draw Isabel? Nope. But we're gonna add her anyway. Because she is cute. Oh, she has a ponytail. I remember that now. There we go. And then a few of those leaves on the tapestry thing. We need to add more stuff on the shelves. What should we add? It's probably a mess of paper up here that she's just forgotten about. Probably some really big books that she doesn't really care about. So that's like just stacked on top here because she really don't remember that they're there. And then maybe, I don't know, that's something on top. I have no idea what that is. Ooh, let's make a box. And in here, there's sweets, because who doesn't love a snack box in their room, right? What little things that I actually have. I like adding trophies a lot. I don't know what it's for, but it's there. Oh, good. Look at this. I think that the thing that's most fun to do is to add or create rooms for characters that are not human. So imagine like a room for a secret mermaid or something. That would be so cool. This looks like something I should not say what it looks like. Maybe she's ooh, this is my one of my favorite things to add. Any guess what it is yet? It's a cat, of course. I love drawing rooms with cats. It makes it even more fun. Of course you would have a cat, right? This is the chair. This is, well, table. It's actually, the thing is, it looks very messy now, but the moment you add like proper lines and you also add color, it's weird how it will just suddenly change from being very messy to less messy. It's because all the lines kind of confuse you and you don't really know what you're looking at. So maybe it's a good idea to add do the line. That's probably maybe why I do the lines as well. Because it's a way for me to make sure that it looks messy even with clean lines. I have no idea. I'm just rambling at the moment. I don't know what this is either. It's some sort of box. Don't really know. Don't really need to know what everything is in this room. I'm gonna actually do that, and I'm gonna make this into drawers. I'm gonna make this one go out because I'm trying to make things even more messy. So now there's something in this drawer. This one's closed. There we go. As you can see, I'm not really looking at perspective at all, which is very freeing when you're trying to just create a messy room. I also need to add the tapestry. If you want a messy room, you should add something on the wall everywhere. Because if you don't, a big white wall just does not look messy. It looks very clean, so. There we go. How sweet. Ah, that was fun. Okay. Could probably add things forever in this, but I know it's not a good idea, so I'm not. Like, I don't have time to do it right now, so. But I think I've illustrated my point, right? We made a messy room. We just had a base of the room to create the mess on, and here we go. Of course, it's more tricky when you do the line art and stuff, but it's something freeing about just doing it on the sketch and not like worrying about being clean or like drawing it right or perspective. It's just very fun. I recommend you try it. So, since we've done like homework things the last few times, I would say I would recommend that you try and find a character that you like. Either it can be yours, or you can find a random generator and just get a character. I recommend trying just a normal character first, maybe, and then a fantasy character, and just draw the room. You can find a room picture like I did and just trace where the bed, table, window is, and then you can start adding on top of that, because nobody's gonna know what you kind of took the placement of things from, so it's fine. Or you can use SketchUp if you already know how to use SketchUp. But the main thing is, you have a character, and you make a messy room. I don't even know if that makes sense for anyone, but it does for me. It's very fun. Honestly, I think you probably learned stuff just by looking at me doing this. I guess the thing to do now is, what is now? Try that for, maybe it's for your monthly challenge, or just for a comic or project, just anything. It's good exercise. You don't have to do it like a finished piece. You can just do what I'm doing, which is just keeping it quite rough. But yeah, I honestly, I have so much fun. See, I'm just continuing because I like it a lot. It's cute. But yeah, let's do homework. Create character. Add. Make base, room, make, room, base. Create character, room base. I'm gonna write that again because I am messy. Also, that took me like 15 minutes, which is a lot quicker than I thought it would be. So, create character, make room base, sketch, mess. Don't worry. About perspective. I think the reason I'm saying that is because when you have the base of the room, you already have all the perspective you need. You can kind of look at it and imagine where the things are and just do it. Like, I am sure if you try to do any of what I just drew in 3D, there will be some sort of off. Because I don't quite know where to place things in 3D when it comes to flat drawing. So it comes with practice. I would probably practice how to do the shelf thing as well, just to have a go at it. It does help a lot just to just play around with it. Honestly, the whole thing about mess is just to play around with it and be like, oh, what would my character do? What would this character do? Would it be clean, messy? Just fill up the room with things that kind of symbolizes things. I'm actually gonna find my old 2 art pieces that I did. That's probably the reason why I like messy rooms. I didn't do it before that drawing, so I'm gonna show it. I'm just gonna find it for you. Alright, so here we are. I found that it's on ArtStation, so you can go look at it yourself as well. But this was, I can just see all the mistakes right now, but I do remember having a lot of fun filling this room up with things, so I thought I would just go into detail about the details, just to fill up this tutorial a little bit more. This is a 3D base. I think I added the desk, the drawer, the shelf is just a big box. I drew the shelves myself. Everything that you can see is a box, like this little area here. Yeah, you can see that. Everything that looks like that is a base in SketchUp. Also, the thing with SketchUp is that you can download free 3D models. So I actually downloaded a model for the mirror, because drawing mirrors in that angle is very hard. So it's easier just to download a free model of it, and then you can just use that. Alright, okay, I think I was talking about the mirror. That was a 3D thing, and that just makes my life a lot easier. But the rest is pretty much me just adding the detail as I go along. Especially books is very easy to do when you already have the perspective lines. Also, what I was saying earlier, that anything that's looking down at something is a lot harder than anything that you're looking up at. So this one is a lot harder because you have all these things that you have to make sure that you place correctly. The thing with this project for FCD was that you needed to do a character room in our world, and then their secret identity in another fantasy realm, or whatever you wanted, really. So I did this one, and then I did this one, which is that she was a witch fairy researcher. So she goes through the mirror, and this is her little study area. And you can see this is probably my favorite part about the whole thing, is this area, this desk with just all the fairies. One is trapped here, some in jars, one is pinned down. It's not very nice, but it's very interesting. They have the candles kind of melting, you have a crow from earlier, plants growing, fertilizer, windows, you have a lot of different things, and this was so much fun. It took a while, but it was so much fun. And I believe I did this as well, which is another angle. So I did use the 3D model to get the angle, and then I just drew in all the details on top. And then I think that's the same thing with the other one. Yeah. we got this angle. Also, there's a Harry Potter poster, which I found hilarious. Anyway, and then Japanese on the board, just to hint that she's Japanese for some reason. I don't know why. I think I was just watching anime at the time. I was like, yes, Japanese. And yeah, these ones are really fun. You can go and find them on ArtStation if you want to look closely and just really pick up all the details that are in these two. There's quite a lot of detail, and this takes a lot longer than 15 minutes to plan out. But it's worth it because it's very visually interesting. Anyway, I think that is it for this tutorial. I didn't really drag it on for too long. I'm sorry. It seems like my 2 last tutorials have been about half an hour, but it's just, I feel like they're more compressed and I talk more and I feel like I teach more, which is better than just rambling. Anyway, I hope you guys liked this tutorial. If there's anything that you would like me to teach next month, which is this month, which is very confusing, September, you can give me some suggestions down below in this Patreon post, and I will take anything that you suggest into the next poll, which I will post in a few days, and then we'll do another tutorial in 2 weeks. Yeah, it's not that long until the next one. We're kind of just catching up on everything, making sure we have everything good to go, and that you get everything that you are supposed to get. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for supporting my Kickstarter, and I will also do a live stream at the end of this month. It's going to be a really long one because I feel like we haven't done it in a while, so we need to do a long one. We'll just figure it out as we go. If you have any comments about anything, like if you think I'm doing something wrong or you're missing something, please message me. You can always message me either on Discord or on Patreon, and I'll make sure that I fix it. I'm really trying to get back on track right now, so if you have any critique, I guess it's called, let me know. I'm totally open for anything like that. And also, if you are not a part of the Discord group, which you should be, please go and sign up for that. I'll leave the information how to do that in this post as well. And yeah, it's just really worth coming over to the Discord because I chat there a lot. So yes. Okay. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.